Hey there, it's me, the Cartoon Geek, and today I am going to be reviewing The Responsibility, the first episode of the amazing world of Gumball. My aim here today is to see whether the show started off well, and to see whether it holds up today when compared to the later seasons. Now, I do have a soft spot in my heart for Gumball. It is one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows, but for some reason, many people seem to overlook Season 1, mainly because people think that it's the first season, so they'll think lowly of it because they'll compare it to other seasons, which honestly are better, but that doesn't mean that Season 1 is bad. With this review, I hope to play devil's advocate for Season 1 and show people that it can hold its own today.
Oh no! It seems I can't put them on. I'm afraid we can't go to the parents' evening.
Ready to go.
Oh.
So the episode starts off with Nicole and Richard preparing for a parents' meeting. We see that Richard is reluctant to go and uses the excuse that he can't put his pants on. In fact, until they get to the school, Richard is very nervous to go. It is a nice little detail that actually makes a lot of sense when you think about the episodes that we get later on. Because you see, we learned in Season 4 that Richard was an outcast at school. So we see that Nicole has to put Gumball and Darwin in charge to babysit Anais. The comedy so far has been average, and you would expect because it's the first and they have to see what works and what doesn't work. While it does get better later on in the episode, that does mean that there is a wider variety of humor, which I will never complain about, because it shows that they're actually trying in the first episode.
So, how do you feel, Darwin?
Pretty responsible. And you?
I feel like a new man. A responsible man.
I can't believe this. I'm going upstairs.
Stairs!
Ow! What are you doing?
79% of stair accidents happen on the stairs.
What does that even mean?
It means you're safer sitting here.
This is where many people seem to find a problem within the episode. You see, people think that there is no real motivation for Gumball and Darwin to be acting this way. Their reason for acting like this is because they have this deluded idea and importance built into their heads by being in charge. It makes what they do seem really jerky because they do nothing but ruin Anais's day. But, you see, while the reason for them acting like this may not be, it's done in a comical way that I don't really mind. It shows that there is no real malice to what they're doing. It's just ignorance and inexperience, which I think is okay, but that shouldn't be an excuse to use. I think it should be done better, mind you.
Dang.
It's a small price to pay for your safety.
You're too young to understand. Excuse me? But who makes your breakfast every day?
You, of course.
And who helps you with your homework?
You?
So I should be in charge.
But who did Mom put in charge?
You.
So who has to do what we say?
Me.
These few scenes are the first instances of Anais being shown to be smarter than her age suggests. This will become a staple in Gumball, with everyone underestimating her. I feel it's done well here because the situation requires it. Gumball and Darwin put in charge by Nicole, so she has to stick through it, no matter how bad she knows Gumball and Darwin are at babysitting. It's a very good dynamic.
She's 4 now.
Well, now, you want a biscuit? Huh? You want to have a taste of this? You want to have a little taste of this? You can't have it, that record is mine. Oh, I was teasing you. You want a little taste of it? Ah, just you bit me.
Wait, did I really see Anais bite someone? That was really experimental. I mean, imagine if she did more stuff like this later in the series. It's really interesting to think about.
And for num-nums, we have a mackerel sandwich, a potato, and a little something for dessert.
Are you kidding me?
I'm thinking the same thing. I mean, I get that they're trying to push the point that they're inexperienced, but even they should know that you don't feed a child that. I feel that the writers in Season 1 tried to make Gumball and Darwin the quote-unquote dumb characters, and I'm actually glad that that's the idea of having a slightly arrogant, somewhat silly character who can sometimes have good intentions, work off of a nice morale straight man who will almost usually have good intentions and also be quite silly at times, is a much more appealing idea to me than just two dumb characters. So they decide to take Anais for a bath, but come to the conclusion that water is dangerous, thus don't allow her to use it. So we get this really fun chase scene where Darwin and Gumball chase Anais through the house to try and get her to wear a diaper.
What?
Well, we don't want you to have any accidents.
Very responsible thinking, Gumball.
Thanks. Now be a big girl and...
There's no way I'm wearing a diaper.
It is very fun. It has a lot of different humor mixed in, and is one of those memorable Gumball moments. Yes, even though it is only in the first episode. Gumball and Darwin think that she ran out the window, but soon realize that it was a trick.
Ah! She's not in there! She ran out the window! Oh, what's Mom gonna think? We're in so much trouble!
You goons really walked into that one.
Anais, let us...
I like this bit because it subverses our expectations just a little bit more and shows that she is smart and should not be underestimated. So we see that Anais has left the faucet on and has flooded the house. Meanwhile, Nicole rushes back home as she becomes worried as to what might have happened while they were gone. So Gumball and Darwin have to come through the toilet to save her.
Hey, how's it going?
So eventually they do save her by shooting out through the chimney and again have a really memorable moment when they face palm to the floor.
Good job, everyone! Hey, don't worry! We can use this diaper as a parachute and float safely down the... Mom? Here's Darwin.
What? It was her that flooded the place. I thought you were going to take the rat. Anyway, it was clearly Mom's fault. She was the one who left Gumball in charge.
Well, it's Dad's fault for not finding a proper babysitter.
Well, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for you.
Who are you blaming here?
The internet?
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
I
enough.
couldn't know.
I like this bit of meta humor because unlike with Season 5 and Season 6, it doesn't feel too heavy-handed for me, like they're trying too hard to relate to humans on a personal level, when it is actually just a cartoon. So that was a responsibility, and to answer your question, yes, I do think that it holds up today. I mean, obviously it's not the best that Season 1 has to offer. Maybe I'll review a later episode of Season 1, comment if you want to see that. But for the first episode of a series, it's okay. The jokes were good. The animation is very experimental, but it doesn't seem too much like they don't know what they're doing and still trying to adopt a style. It's almost as if they've already set up a style to go on for the rest of the season. So, thank you for watching the review. If you haven't seen my first review on FairyCon, click here, and I'll see you whenever.